Hello guys. So I've developed a method, a technique that would aid you in moments then when you are triggered, in triggering moments, when you're afraid, when you're enslaved by your circumstances and you think that nothing is working. And that method is called the what if method. So when you're triggered, when you're struggling, you're triggering all over the way. You saw a circumstance that you don't like. You get thoughts like nothing's working, nothing is good. I'm not going to get this manifestation. Everything is against me. When you're in the midst of hell, it would be kind of difficult for you to remind yourself that you're God because otherwise you wouldn't be there. So in moments like this, it's best not to force yourself to know that you're God, because many people say like, you see a negative thought, assume against it, affirm against it, and then it makes you struggle more and try more to get rid of this feeling, of this emotion of you being of this state. So you're basically trying so hard to get out of this state. And this rarely works because when you struggle and when you cannot force your way out of a state. So the best thing that you can do is when you view your whole world from 100% possibility that this is not going to work, I'm not going to get what I want. So it's 100% no. What I want you to do is I want you to introduce, is like open the door to the 50% of what if. So you're going to tell yourself you're in the midst of hell. Your thoughts are coming all over you. You're anxious. You're stressed. You're in fear, and simply say to yourself, what if everything works out? So introduce the possibility, the 50% possibility, because from 100% that you're in fear, there's a 100%. You can only view the scenario. You can only think of the bad scenario, the worst outcome. And from 100%, you introduce the 50%. So then it makes 50% what if it doesn't happen with 50% of what if this happens. So you say this in order to soothe and to tame your victim mindset, because you're basically being the observer. You can basically observe your victim mindset, but then you start identifying with it and you start thinking that this is who you are. So by saying this, what if everything works out? What if I will get what I want? What if this circumstance right there is aiding me to get my manifestation? What if right now I don't view things correctly? I don't view things working in my favor, but what if they are? Okay. So this allows you to take a step back and be the observer of the victim mindset. You understand? So by saying these words, by applying this method, it can allow you to take a step back from the mindset of being a victim, not giving 100% attention to your worst outcome, to your worst case scenario, and it allows you to introduce the 50% of the possibility of what if. Because to be honest, when you're in a victim mindset and when you're triggered, you don't view any other possibility. You only view this possibility that things are not working out. I'm not going to get what I want. What am I going to do? I'm struggling. It's been so much. It's been so long. I must be doing something wrong. So your attention is focused on this one possibility that is the worst case scenario, you not getting what you want. So by saying these words, by applying this method, like what if everything works out, it allows you to take a step back and not viewing this as a 100%, the only possibility in the world. It allows you to get your awareness on a different possibility, because by default in this dual world, you do have two possibilities, you do have two choices. But when you're in the midst of hell, you won't even know your name. Trust me, I've been there, and you don't even remember you're human, to be honest. So this allows you to take a step back, to take your awareness, and it goes from 100%, you start entertaining two possibilities. 50% I don't get what I want, 50% I get what I want. And from there, it's like you devalued the worst case scenario, you devalued its power, you made it 50% yes, 50% no. And from then on, you can easily take another step back and make it 100%. But when you're in a struggling mode, when you're in a mindset that says, I'm not going to get this, the best thing is to not fight it, but rather take steps back. as you go so that you can easily go out of the state. You cannot force your way out of the state. You can only see it for what it is, introduce the possibility, and that's that. And when you're better and when your victim mindset is more soothed or tamed, you can take another step back and make it 100% the possibility, only one option, only one choice, that I will get what I want. Now, I'm going to leave it at here. I'm going to make my videos shorter because I don't think there is any point in rambling and yapping about everything else. I'm going to make a video per subject, and that's that. Okay, guys, I love you. Bye-bye.